So in our last whitetail playbook, we covered different shot angles that you can have on a deer. If you want to watch that, pause this video and click on the card. Not sure which corner it's going to be in. But there's something else that you need to be keeping in the forefront of your mind when you're getting ready to shoot at a whitetail. And that is how the deer is going to react. If a deer seems to be on edge and is fidgety, or maybe it's just dead quiet out, chances of that deer dropping are very high after hearing the shot of your bow, meaning your aim point is going to have to be lower on that deer. And of course, the further you're shooting away, the more time that deer has to react, meaning the further it can drop along with the targeted vitals area dropping along with it. Now, is there something that you can do about the string jump? In my opinion, it's just part of bow hunting, and it doesn't necessarily happen every time either. Matter of fact, I see more does jump a string than I've seen bucks jump a string in my lifetime. Now, with a gun, you don't got to worry about dropping, just let the bullet eat. You just put it on the vitals and let it fly. They're not in the Matrix. They're not going to grab the bullet with their hoof in slow motion. But for that reason with a bow, if a deer seems to be on edge or it's dead quiet out, I'll aim a few inches lower down towards the bottom of the heart. One thing I also try to do is keep every archery shot I have on a deer within 30 yards to allow for less reaction time. That's not always going to be the case though. Take Trevor, for example, back in 2020. He shot a stud Maryland buck at 42 yards, but planned for the drop perfectly. This aspect comes with situational awareness, meaning experience and learning deer behavior over time. That's why you should get out in them woods and sit as often as you can. You will never stop learning how deer act. They'll probably drive you crazy too once you think you got them figured out. How deer react is what brings us to our next subject as well. Should you shoot a deer with its head up or its head down? It's something I forget far too often when hunting, and I definitely need to get better with. A shot on a deer with its head down will come up in many situations. Whether it's a corn pile it's eating at, or grazing on acorns, or a food plot, or even just sniffing a trail, a deer with its head down will have the same reaction time, of course, as a deer with its head up. But having their head down, their first move is to rear that head up, causing their body to dip down at almost twice the speed and distance in the same amount of time as compared to when their head is up. As their head goes up, their body comes down to catch up with the rest of their movement. For example, I filmed Sadie Bass in Louisiana back in 2020 take a shot on just an old deer. At this point, I had no idea about the head down theory, but this is what brought it into the radar for me for the first time. This deer dropped at what I would guess would be over a foot, to where its belly almost touches the ground. Had the deer not moved, Sadie would have smoked that buck. Watch the difference on a buck at 30 yards with its head down versus a buck at 40 yards with its head up. The buck at 30 yards has less time to react, but is able to move his body far more than the deer at 40 due to the motion of whipping its head upwards. Now, if you're taking a shot at a deer with its head up, their first movement is to lunge or reposition their feet, sometimes outwards, to jump away, whether it's left or right. This comes as one fluid motion with their head and body going down at the same time. Is it impossible to kill a deer with its head down? Absolutely not, and I've done it plenty of times before. But your chances of hitting the target where you're aiming go down significantly, resulting in losing a deer or completely missing it. Not to mention, if the deer is bent over feeding and does not move a muscle after your shot, its vital V window narrows as its shoulder bone comes up more, being in the bent over position with its head down. So I'm going to stick with this saying: head high, let it fly; head low, don't quite go. Because waiting that extra 5 to 10 seconds for a deer to pick its head up could make all the difference. Have you ever had a deer drop so far it shocked you? I want to hear about it. Share your story down below in the comments, and thanks for watching.